now that we have density and volume, that's about all we need to calculate mass, and mass was one of our big goals. So we'll add in that new attribute template for the mass of each tank. Now, by corporate policy, we want to see mass in tons. So I'll go ahead and set the default unit of measure here to be a mass of tons. Oops, that was metric tons. I'll set the unit of measure to be a mass of tons. This looks like another good use of that AF formula data reference that we already saw. So we go into the formula data reference, and then we have a stark realization. We want to see mass in tons, but density is measured in kilograms per liter, and volume is in US gallons. This looks like a nightmare in the making. But in fact, we can actually use some unit of measure magic here to make our lives happy. When we import density, for example, D for density, we can bring it in kilograms per liter, which kilograms and liters make a whole lot of sense to me, so I like that. When it comes time to import volume, turns out we have options. By default, it's measured in United States gallons, but I can ask for it, for example, in liters. And AF will do the unit of measure conversion on demand on the fly. So now my formula can just be mass is going to be density times volume. And that result right there, kilograms per liter times liters, that makes my result kilograms. Wait a minute, don't I want tons? Well, sure I do, but the raw result here is kilograms. The data reference emits kilograms. But AF knows that my clients, by default, want it automatically converted into tons behind the scenes. If I look at my tanks, sure enough, there's my mass. It's 5.6 tons. That looks pretty correct. And it all happens on demand behind the scenes. Interestingly, the clients, in almost all cases, can ask for this data in any other unit of measure. If I have a client in ProcessBook who wishes to see mass delivered in kilograms, they can ask for that. But all of that is powered by this unit of measure conversion scheme within PyAsset Framework. In fact, the units of measure have their own home within PySystem Explorer. It's possible to look at what's there and, of course, add to it. If you need custom units of measure, if you need to add to what we have, we invite you to do that. Now that we know the mass of every tank, we are very close to completing our business objective of knowing the mass share of every tank. In other words, every tank's mass relative to the overall tank farm mass. So that means the next attribute that we need to expose is, at the tank farm level, the total mass. So we'll put in an attribute to hold mass of the tank farm. Now this will also be measured in tons. And the question becomes, where does this data come from?